right now at 7.
Breaking news, the airstrike that may trigger a dramatic escalation in tension with Iran. What we are learning about the airstrike that left some high-profile Iranian military leaders dead.
And breaking news in the Bay Area as well. A police chase just took a deadly turn. We have new details.
And a rude awakening turns deadly in the East Bay. Wild moments when an ex-girlfriend stormed one man's home.
He feared for his life, and he used his own gun, and he basically shot his way out of the residence.
This wasn't your everyday car break-in. Wait till you hear about the heart-wrenching sports items that were stolen from one family's car.
I don't know, it just broke me down a little bit. Yeah, they could have taken anything but that.
Breaking news from Iraq right now on the KPIX 5 News at 7 and streaming on CBS and Bay Area. These new photos just coming in from a deadly airstrike at the Baghdad International Airport. Good evening, I'm Alan Martin.
And I'm Veronica Dela Cruz. We're learning the U.S. has targeted and killed a high-ranking Iranian general who was in Iraq. That man is General Qasem Soleimani. He is the head of Iran's elite military unit known as the Quds Force. Soleimani was killed in an attack targeting his vehicle. The deputy head of the Iranian-backed Popular Mobilization Forces also killed. At least 3 rockets were fired at the airport, killing 7 people. The Pentagon now confirming it was the United States that carried out that airstrike at the direction of President Trump. The attack comes amid growing tensions with Iran. The U.S. targeted Iranian-backed militias in Iraq that led to a massive protest outside the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. General Soleimani is responsible for the deaths of hundreds of U.S. soldiers during the Iraq War. We'll have much more on this story throughout the evening on KPIX.com.
We are also following breaking news out of unincorporated Marin County. New video in from the scene of a CHP pursuit that ended in a deadly crash. Now, this is a stretch of busy Sir Francis Drake Boulevard in Greenbrae. That white truck totally smashed in, the airbags deployed. Deputies say a suspect was getting off southbound Highway 101 when he hit another car. The people inside that car are okay, while the suspect was killed. Remains unclear what led to the pursuit.
We're also learning that a bizarre home invasion had deadly consequences. As KPIX 5's Andrea Borba reports, a homeowner was forced to defend himself, leaving his ex-girlfriend dead.
This marked the first homicide in the city of Dublin since 2009. It took nearly 18 hours for the crime scene tape to come down at the intersection of Central Parkway and Grafton in Dublin after a home invasion that left 1 intruder dead and 1 injured. It all began when a man heard pounding on his front door at 11:30 last night and went downstairs with a gun. He saw a woman he recognized and cracked open the door. Turns out she wasn't alone.
He recognized the female as his ex-girlfriend, and the male had a gun he was pointing the gun at the resident.
The pair forced their way in, according to detectives, and then the resident fired.
He feared for his life, and he used his own gun, and he basically shot his way out of the residence and fled the area and then called 911.
The woman, his ex-girlfriend, died from her gunshot wounds inside the home. The man accompanying the ex-girlfriend is in the hospital recovering with non-life-threatening gunshot wounds and is being detained. Off camera, several neighbors said they heard sirens, but no gunshots.
We are very surprised. I just talked to a couple of neighbors. I lived here for 9 years. This sort of thing had never happened in the past. You know, maybe a couple break-in burglary, but we have never seen anything resemble that like this.
No charges have yet been filed in this case. It is anticipated the man who is in the hospital right now recovering from gunshot wounds will be charged when he is released from the hospital. Reporting in Dublin, Andrea Borba, KPIX 5.
Tonight we're learning more about the victim who died in the laptop theft in Oakland. Friends say he was an IBM engineer and died on his 34th birthday. He fell out of a car when trying to chase the thieves. KPIX 5's Dahlin spoke with friends and neighbors in Montclair today.
The victim lived 1.5 miles away from the Starbucks where the theft occurred. Friends say the victim was smart and kind. They say he was a hard worker, one of the best at his company.
Really a bright guy.
I'm completely shocked.
Friends and neighbors are grieving the death of Shor Zhang. He moved to this Oakland apartment 5 months ago. In that short time, neighbors got to know him as responsible, engaging, and friendly.
We talked,
He was happy to be here and enjoying life.
Friends say Shore turned 34 the day he died on New Year's Eve. They were supposed to go celebrate that night. Instead of celebrating, his parents are now on their way from China to plan his funeral.
Oh, it's very frustrating.
Shore was a native of China. He attended Kansas State University for his graduate school. According to his LinkedIn page, he moved to the Bay Area in 2015 to work for Aspera, an IBM company in Emeryville, as a research scientist and engineer. Friends say he was an avid photographer who loved to travel and hike.
He's a brave young man and wanted his property back.
Police say after someone snatched his laptop, he chased after the thief. Witnesses say he fell out of the getaway car and later died. It's becoming a common crime in the East Bay. Berkeley police released this footage from a couple of years back. A victim being dragged while trying to get his laptop back. That man fell off and survived.
It's very sad. I wish he'd let it go, but you never know how you're going to react.
Oakland police arrested 2 suspects, and they may be looking for more. In Oakland, I'm Don Lynn, KPIX 5.
Another dangerous day to be on Bay Area beaches. One woman's dog was swept away, and then the woman had to be rescued. Happened this afternoon at Cow Ranch Beach near Half Moon Bay. The dog apparently got hit by a wave. The woman went after it. The dog made it back to shore okay, but the woman was still swimming in the rough surf when rescuers got there. She's now at the hospital in serious condition.
Not only stay out of the water, stay away from the water, because if you even get close to it, you can be sucked in actually by a sneaker wave. So it's just a better idea to just to give the water some room when it's like this.
And the surf was so big today, it broke 2 pylons at the Capitola Wharf. They broke off right below the big red and yellow boat crane. Part of the pier is now closed off. There's no word tonight when it could reopen. But the biggest waves of the day, well, these were at Asilomar State Beach in Monterey County. According to Surfline, some were 30 feet tall. Surfers we talked to said it would be crazy to paddle out, but for spectators, this was awesome.
Because it reminds us that we're not in charge. We're here with nature. Nature is providing for us.
Mavericks did not disappoint today. Chopper 5 flew over as some brave surfers caught a couple of the good rides on waves said to be around 25 feet. We'll have more on the high surf warning coming up a little bit later.
Car break-in in the East Bay spelled out a second tragedy for a high school basketball team. KPIX 5's Don Ford tells us one of the items stolen was a tribute to a fallen teammate.
This wasn't your everyday car break-in. The items stolen were both useless and priceless at the same time. A high school jersey, a pair of shoes, easily replaced, except they cannot be replaced. They were worn by Quentin Wiggins, Branson High School star athlete who died in an auto accident last summer. Peyton Malarkey is Quentin's best friend.
People love that jersey, and the dad asked me to wear it this year for the jersey can finish through the senior year, and the jersey was going to be retired at the end of the year.
Peyton honored his friend's memory by wearing the jersey during games. Returning from a tournament, the family stopped to eat in Oakland when their car, like this one, was broken into. That's when the backpack, identical to this one, was stolen.
I don't know, it just broke me down a little bit. It's just, yeah, they could have taken anything, but the jersey was priceless and it meant the world.
Quentin's mother is stunned.
You know, it's just stuff to somebody else, but it's like, it's Quentin's jersey to all of us.
Your son's jersey?
Yeah, the one he wore.
Flyers are posted near the Oakland restaurant, and Mom says absolutely no charges are being considered as long as they get the jersey back. It's now been 3 days. In Novato, Don Ford, KPIX 5.
Still to come, the anger tonight after the Trump administration banned certain types of vapes.
Plus, developing news from Baghdad. The airport hit by a deadly airstrike just a short time ago. Who fired the rockets?
And the 49ers back on the field for the first time since winning the NFC West. Why it may take a few more practices to get readjusted.
Honestly, I was a little nervous. I haven't been super great on my consumption habits these last 3 days.
Plus, new Sierra snowpack numbers and the new charges at one popular Tahoe ski resort that have people saying enough is enough.
They didn't even announce it till the beginning of the season, even though we had bought our passes 6 months before.
Their assertion that they're above the law is unacceptable to me. Meanwhile, back here at home today, we missed 70 degrees by 2 up at the Santa Rosa Airport today. How long are we going to continue this sunny and low to mid 60s for most of the Bay? I'll be back with more on that. We'll take a look at the next chance of small rain coming right up.
And don't forget, we're streaming now on CBSN Bay Area. You can find us on KPIX.com, the CBS News app, or your favorite platform. '49ers return to work, holding their first practice in 2020.
Yeah, Vern Glenn joins us now. And Vern, 9 days until this big battle.
I kind of relate a little bit with the 49ers. This is my first 7 o'clock show of 2020.
Well,
I'm kind of shaking the rust off, kind of get going. Hey, 49ers win over the Seahawks gave them more than the NFC West title and the #1 seed. It gave them a chance to kick back and roll in the new year with time off. So how was it getting back to practice today?
Honestly, I was a little nervous. I haven't been super great on my consumption habits these last 3 days with the holiday and everything.
Yeah, quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo and the fellas had a little hop in their step as they went through reps, hit the sled again as they await which playoff team they're going to host January 11th. This fella in the blue, no contact jersey, linebacker Quan Alexander. That was the story today. He's the difference between a great defense and a Super Bowl defense. Boy, he really makes it. He really makes a difference. Originally, he was supposed to be out all year with a torn pectoral muscle. He could return soon. How was he feeling?
Legendary, man. Just happy to be back out there. It was fun to be back. Just trying to get ready.
He's probably the MVP of our team. He's just the energy all the time. It's kind of hard for 16 games every single day to bring. Just bring the passion and have fun with it, and if he's there, that we have no choice but to have fun.
Quan Alexander, he's got the green dot helmet. He makes the calls. He energizes everybody. He gets them all psyched up each and every game. So his presence alone kind of boosts the defense just a little bit more.
Kind of caffeinates it up.
Indeed.
How were your consumption habits over the holidays?
That's for another show.
Okay. We'll see you later then. Thanks, Vern.
Turning now to the snowpack, the first official snow survey of the season shows the Sierra is at 97% of average for this time of the year. The snow measured more than 33 inches deep earlier up around Lake Tahoe.
Snow water content allows us to better predict and forecast a more accurate spring runoff. That way we know basically how much water will eventually melt during the spring and summer months to refill all of our reservoirs.
He is not still standing there. But eventually it melts, and that's what we want. That's our snowpack.
Here's the thing
that's
about
our
that.
rainbow.
Okay, so those two guys, right, standing up on Highway 50, 97% of average, that is the report for that one location off Highway 50 where those two guys are standing. Got to look at the bigger picture when it comes to the snow survey. So let me show you what this looked like across the entire state, because we break this into northern, central, and southern Sierra. This gives you kind of a wider overview here. The lion's share of the water that we use in this state comes from the northern Sierra. And right now, the water being stored in the snowpack in the northern Sierra is at 77% of average. We'd like to see that number a little higher. But if you look across the rest of the range, there's 90% for the central Sierra, there's 104% for the southern Sierra. If you averaged it all out, if you want one number for where is the snowpack in California as a whole, take that one. We're at 90% of average for the Sierra as a whole. In other words, it's a good story. We like the numbers to be a little higher, and hopefully they keep going higher. And we're not going to add a lot more snow to the Sierra in the next 7 days. We're also not going to get a lot of rain here either. But there is some to talk about. First of all, that's what it feels like out there right now. Cool spot at this point is Livermore at 49, but look where we're going for the morning lows tomorrow. Most of us are staying in the 40s. I've only got 2 numbers on here that get into the 30s, and it's at 36 in Santa Rosa in the North Bay and 39 for Napa. Everybody else stays in the low to mid 40s. And then tomorrow, we're going to be right back to where we were today, which is mid 60s for many locations and plenty of sunshine. Friday's going to be beautiful. And then by late Friday, the next chance of rain gets here. That says 8 o'clock tomorrow. That's the next band of rain approaching. And by the time we've gotten to 10:30, 11 o'clock tomorrow night, we're starting to see some of the leading edge of this in the far northwest corner of Sonoma County. So let's watch this from midnight until about 3 in the morning, still some light showers. And then by the time we've gotten to about 6, 7 o'clock, it has pretty much fallen apart. There's a chance of rain here Saturday morning for the Central and the South Bay as we get towards sunrise, but not a lot. And even at that, the clouds are going to clear out of here by the time we've gotten to the late morning. So remember this, when we get to the 7-day forecast, you're going to see rain on Saturday. But it's not really a lot, or even for most of Saturday. It's really like in the pre-dawn hours, and there are your totals. Maybe 1/10 of an inch of rain in the North Bay, San Jose, 0, maybe 1/100 of an inch of rain. From that, by 10 a.m., whatever that is done. So plan on being able to get outside on Saturday and enjoying that day without getting rained on. And then Sunday's a little cooler on the back edge of that system. Monday, we warm right back up. Another sunny and mid-60-degree day. And then the next chance of rain shows up by the middle of next week. That one also does not look all that impressive. Not a lot of rain coming our way, and no more snow really being added to the Sierra. All right, Veronica, back over to you.
All right, Darren, thank you. Here's what you missed if you're just now getting home. Within the past 30 minutes, the Pentagon has confirmed President Trump ordered and U.S. military carried out an airstrike that killed a top Iranian general. That man is Qasem Soleimani. He is the general who led the Iran's elite Quds force. He's a celebrated figure, a household name in Iran. He's also well known to U.S. officials who say he has the blood of hundreds of American soldiers who were killed by Iranian-backed groups during the Iraq War. The Defense Department saying moments ago Soleimani, quote, was actively developing plans to attack American diplomats and service members in Iraq and throughout the region. In 30 days, the Trump administration will ban those fruit-flavored e-cigarette cartridges, another story we're following. Vape companies will only be allowed to make and sell tobacco and menthol flavors. This ban applies only to cartridges, not to those refillable e-liquids. Anti-tobacco groups say that this law falls short.
I've determined that it simply isn't our time. So today,
That is Democratic presidential hopeful Julian Castro ending his presidential campaign. It comes as frontrunners release their fundraising numbers. Senator Bernie Sanders raising more than $34 million. Pete Buttigieg hauled in nearly $25 million, but President Trump leading the way at $46 million. Alan?
Thanks, Veronica. Up next, a terrifying kidnapping. It's caught on camera. A woman desperately runs to a home for help. It's going to leave you shocked as to what happens next.
The lesson learned, if there is one, is that people shouldn't be able to get away with such a thing.
Plus, why skiers and snowboarders are so fired up, they're now suing a popular Tahoe ski resort. And a story that made us think it was only a matter of time. The popular tech device that ended up inside a child. Don't forget, we're streaming now on CBS Bay Area. You can find us on KPIX.com, the CBS News app, or your favorite platform. Well, a chilling kidnapping attempt in Las Vegas where a woman's frantic rush for help was captured, all thanks to a doorbell camera.
Yeah, you can see a woman running to the front door of a stranger's home for safety. As she bangs on the door, a man runs up behind her, beats her, drags her to his car. The couple allegedly share a baby who was in the car when this happened. Thanks to tips, police were able to locate the man and arrest him. He faces kidnapping and domestic battery charges.
Well, a ton of people upset over this one tonight. North Star Ski Resort at Lake Tahoe now charging fees for parking. Ski resort officials announced the unexpected change back in October, but now 2 men are filing a lawsuit against the resort owners. They say that they had purchased their season passes before that new policy was announced, and they should be exempt from parking fees.
Their position was that I had consented to whatever they wanted to do, and there would be no refunds when what that turned out to be was not what I had signed up for.
Well, North Star declined to comment on the pending lawsuit. Up next, what do you do if you swallow an AirPod?
Well, one kid is about to find out. Well, it was bound to happen. A young kid has swallowed one of those AirPod earbuds.
Not funny, but he's going to be okay. Happened to a 7-year-old boy in Georgia. Mom says she doesn't know exactly how it happened, but I'm pretty sure he put it in his mouth and swallowed. Doctors found the device in an X-ray, determined it's not a health threat, so the remedy is probably something you can guess.
Everything is fine, and in a few days it'll pass through.
Well, the boy says he's kind of hesitant to use his phone because he's worried that the music might start playing and coming from inside his body.
If that's the biggest worry he's got, this is a good story.
Well,
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching at 7.
See you at 11.